Yeah, so episode 5 of the gang plugin coding is complete now. So yeah, if you want to see the plugin in action, then you can join the server. The IP and Discord for the server are in the description. Um, so yeah, in this episode I will be doing the point system. So basically, when you level up your gang, you get a point, and you can spend that point to get boosts. So there's, I think, 7 different types of boosts off the top of my head. There's gold, elixir, pure gold, and dark elixir, which are the 4 currencies of the server. And then there's also damage, which will be useful for when I add things like bosses, which I think will be my next development series on this channel. So obviously that multiplies the amount of damage you can deal, and then the other two are the amount of officers that you can have in your gang and the amount of recruits that you can have in your gang. So at first you start off only allowed 1 owner, 1 recruit, and 1 officer in the gang. Um, and fully upgraded, you can have 2 officers and 4 recruits. So some people might say that those values are kind of low, but when you consider the size of the server, I don't think it's too low, considering that probably only about 30 people realistically actively play on the server. And also, previously I had issues, well, I wouldn't say issues, but previously with my past 2 servers, Mayhem Mines and Afterlife, everyone was always in the same gang pretty much, because I had the limit way too high at like 10 people. So there was like 3 gangs with all the top players in, and then all the new players had to, make their own gangs and wouldn't get anywhere with it. So yeah, that's why the values are so low. Uh, so I do have some issues throughout this video um, of frame rate. Well, it's not even frame rate; it's freezing rather than frame rate. So there's some parts of the video where I've sped it up by 12 times rather than 8 times. Although to be honest, you probably won't even notice it because yeah, there's parts of the videos where I'm coding and it literally does like 1 frame every 10 seconds or something in the raw footage. So I had to speed some parts up by 12 or so. But obviously that means that there's some parts of the coding that you will miss. There's not a lot I can do about that, I'm afraid. It sucks that that happens, but yeah, nothing I can do. It's out of my control. Um, I mean, it is partly my fault, I believe, because it primarily happened when I had Chrome open. Um, so I open Chrome probably around halfway through the video and keep it open for the third quarter of the video. So throughout that period of the video, um, yeah, that's where the issue is. But I do close it before I get to like testing at the end and shit. Um, so I also had a lot of issues with the values for the boosts. That was just because I was being a complete idiot and doing all the formulas wrong. So in the end, I decided to not leave all of the failed parts in of testing it, because it's literally just changing a formula 5 times until I got it right, because it literally took me probably about 5 times to do it. So yeah, you can see there that I cut a large part out, and then this was the one that worked in the end. Um, I don't think that there's any enjoyment in watching someone keep on deleting something and retrying to do it 5 times over. So yeah, I decided to cut them out. And you can see here the lag. You can see what I'm on about with when I was mining there. Yeah, and this is at 2 times speed, so this isn't the worst of it. I'm pretty sure the worst of it comes after this part when I get back to coding. Yeah, so this part of the video here is at 12 times speed, and even then you can see that it's pretty awful. But yeah, as I said, unfortunately there's not really anything I can do about that. Um, Hopefully I just know to not open Chrome next time, I guess, but uh, obviously if I need to check the console of the server, I need to open Chrome, otherwise how am I going to check the server console? So yeah, lesson learned, I guess, just keep Chrome open for the shortest period of time that I can get away with. So you can see here now I'm adding the officers and recruits limitations to the gangs, um, although this is one of the parts where it did lag the most. I pretty much got down through the whole part of adding the saves and loads and whatever for that by the time it actually cut back in. So yeah, it was frozen there for like 5 seconds. In hindsight, I should have cut that out, but I'm already doing the voiceover, so yeah, I'm not going to bother to cut it out, but I should have really cut that out. And you can see it's still pretty bad, although I have closed Chrome by now. So there you can see there, it's just got good again, and I'm pretty sure it's fine again for the rest of the video. So yeah, after opening Chrome, about 10 minutes after opening it, it started to be a bit laggy, and then a few minutes after closing it, it was still laggy, and then it's fine again. So you can see here I was just then changing all the slots for the boosts, because I decided to put them on the row below and put the officers and recruits thing on the row above. I did forget to update the size of the inventory as well, which I then did after. But I didn't notice it until later. I forgot about it until I did the test, which is coming up now. So you can see there in the GUI, I forgot to put the bottom one more line in. So yeah, it's not a big deal, but that's just one thing I forgot. Most of the mistakes I make are just stupid things, like all the formulas earlier that I said about, where it took me like 5 tries just to get a formula going. I never really seem to make too big a mistakes. It's always just stupid little ones like that. So yeah, this is the end of this. Well, no, okay. So it's not the end of the series. However, the gang series will not get another upload for maybe a week or so. Um, so I'm going to leave it in its current state on the server for a week and wait for feedback from people. If people want me to change things, I will. Um, but I also need to implement the leaderboard systems. So like you could do, well, there'd be another button in the uh, what was it called, in the gang panel, which you could click, and it would open like a different GUI where you could then click, like choose which leaderboard you wanted to view, and there'd be like level, blocks broken, whatever, things like that. So now you can see then I was just doing the finishing touches to the invite system, and then to save me having to load up 2 Minecraft accounts, which would cause the same issue that I had when I had Chrome open for sure, I decided to hop onto the server, and luckily there was 2 people on there, which is the amount of people I needed. So I hopped onto there and asked them to help. And I also asked one more person through Discord so I could get 3 people, but one of the people didn't join, so I only had 2, but 2 was all I needed. So this was all just to test uh, the promotion and demotion system. Um, so yeah, nothing that interesting, but it all worked fine. The plugin's been on the server for about half an hour now, maybe a bit more, and haven't had anyone saying that there's any issues with it so far, so that's a good thing. But then again, there isn't a ton of people online because it's not a big server, which sucks because I do put a lot of time into it, but hey, I don't have the money for advertisements, and that's what servers are based on these days. It doesn't matter how good your server is, you need money, which is rather annoying. Anyway, this video is coming to an end now, so yeah, I will be starting up the boss coding and building series probably tomorrow, perhaps later today. So hopefully looking forward to that, and if not, then this gang series will continue probably in a few days or a week. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace.